Hello, good morning. We are glad that you're here today. If you haven't already, go ahead and tell us in the chat where you're joining us from today. We love to find out where everybody's from. Just a couple quick housekeeping items before we start here. If you have questions throughout the presentation, please go ahead and put that in the Q&A box. We will be monitoring those questions throughout our presentation today so that we can get you answers to all of those questions during this session. We'll be answering some of the more specific questions directly to you in that Q&A box. And then questions that apply to the whole group we'll respond to live at the end. So you are joining us today for an information session from the University of North Texas on the Applied Arts and Sciences program, which is a bachelor's completion degree. So what that means is if you have some college credit, that could be technical credit, that could be military credit, that could be credit from a community college, that could be credit from another four-year university, you could be eligible for this program. So we're just going to share with you a little extra information about the program today. This is our overview webinar. We'll be having a series of webinars after this with information on admissions and advising and student services and all of those things that you're curious about. So this is just our overview. We'll be sending more information about other webinars as we get closer. So I am Samantha Nicolai. I am a senior digital strategist in the Division of Digital Strategy and Innovation. I have been coordinating this program with Coursera since last August, kind of building the online version of this program from the ground up. And I'm super excited to be sharing the program with you today. I am joined by Stephanie Ellendary, who is the program project coordinator. So she's working to make sure our students have a plethora of student services there for them and that it is organized and easy to use. And then I'm also joined by Brett Johnson, who is one of our advisors for the program. So when you're ready to figure out your pathway for the program, he will be the person that you're talking to. He is our expert in all things classes. So your classes, your credit, he's gonna have the answers for us. So a little bit about the University of North Texas. We are located in Denton, Texas, which is in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. We actually just hit a record enrollment this year, which is pretty exciting. So we are now over 40,000 students, which is pretty exciting for us in these times where enrollment can be a little bit more difficult. We've been around for 130 years now. This is our 130th anniversary. So we're going to be doing some things this year to celebrate that accomplishment for the university. We're part of a system of universities all throughout Dallas-Fort Worth, but we're the flagship university, so we're the main campus in Denton. We have over 100 undergraduate majors. We have graduate programs. We have PhD programs. We serve all levels. We are known as a music school. We have a great music program, and if you decide to join UNT, some of your course selections could be music. We made sure when we were selecting courses to pull in some of those strengths and interesting pieces that we have. We're a big jazz music school. We've got some great jazz bands that perform for us, and one of the classes that we'll be offering on Coursera is a jazz history class. We've recently been designated a Hispanic serving institution. We are a majority minority university, and we serve a high percentage of first generation college students. Additionally, UNT is a Carnegie Tier 1 research university. This is a very important designation for us, as it means that we are among the top universities in the country. So when you come to UNT, not only are you getting, to finish your degree, but you're getting to do it with a very quality institution and high quality courses. All right, so what is the Applied Arts and Sciences program? So you'll hear us referring to the degree as the BAAS. That just means Bachelor of Applied Arts and Sciences. But this degree is for people who are looking to finish a bachelor's degree, who are bringing in at least 45 hours of previous credit. Now, if you attended any of these webinars last semester, we were requiring 60 hours. Now we have lowered that to 45 hours. So this is great news for those of you that were in that kind of bubble area between 45 and 60. You are now eligible for our program. So if you have at least 45 hours, please come and talk to us. The great thing about the BAAS is it's not a new degree. It has a rich history at UNT. We've graduated lots of great people, including my boss's executive assistant. She's a graduate of the program and just sings its praises all the time. But this program started in 1974, so it's been around. We currently have about 1,200 majors in the program right now. And the partnership with Coursera is newer. It started last semester, this semester is the first time we've had students in the program on Coursera. So there will be people ahead of you as you're moving through the program.
Okay, so hi, I'm Stephanie. I will pick up from here. We are so happy to have you all here, so thank you for joining us today. Right here on this slide, we can see the program curriculum for the BAAS degree. If you look at that image on the right-hand side, that is the full degree laid out to a T. So on the left-hand side, you can see university core requirements, and that makes up 42 hours of the degree. There's English classes, which if you are an international student, we don't accept English classes from international schools, so you would have to take those classes. Then we have math, science, history, government and political science. Yes, even if you're out of state or international, we do have everyone take Texas government. So you will be learning about Texas. Then we have creative arts, language, philosophy, culture, social and behavioral, and then 2 component areas that you'll have to fill in for your university core. Then if you look on the right-hand side, you will see the actual major itself, the BAAS major. So the first 3 classes on there are your BAAS unifying courses. Every single BAAS major has to take these courses. These are the 3 classes that no matter what you choose for your concentrations, what your specialization is, everyone takes these. So you do have to earn a C or better in these classes. And the first one is Discovery and Inquiry, and that is a research-based class. Then we have Pathways to Civic Engagement, which is how to be an effective citizen, volunteering, voting, that sort of thing. And then BAAS 4100 is actually taken in your very final semester. And that is a capstone that brings everything all together and also helps you learn how to take this degree and cater it to employers and how to really kind of sell you as employers are looking for new hires. Then underneath that, you have 3 professional development concentrations, and those concentrations are 12 hours each, so they're 4 classes each. And depending upon how many credit hours you actually bring into UNT, some of those might already be filled by your credit hours that you've already earned. The ones that are not filled, you will be able to choose concentrations, and we have specific concentrations for Coursera, which I will get to on the next slide. But depending again how much you bring in, those could be filled up. And then you have your occupational specialization, which is kind of a focus of what you've studied before. You have to have 21 hours in that specific kind of area. And again, a lot of people tend to have that already filled in when you're coming to UNT based off of your credits. And that really is the big thing that we try to do, is we want to maximize your credit hours. So instead of credits going to waste that you've already earned from previous schools, we try to use everything that we can within, you know, bounds of our policy. But we can accept workforce credit, vocational type credit, like EMS, radiology, paralegal, which a lot of traditional degrees cannot accept that credit. Also military credit and international credit. And then the very last part of this degree are electives. So basically electives are anything that's going to add you up to that 120 total credit hours, and 120 total credit hours is the minimum that you have to earn a bachelor's degree. So the electives can be fillers within there. And again, a lot of people tend to bring in enough credit that those electives are already filled in. Okay. And then for this program, like Sam had mentioned, 45 credit hours that you're bringing in makes you eligible for this program. Also a 2.0 overall GPA. So that's of all the schools you attended. If it comes out to a 2.0 or better, then you are eligible. For these classes, it is $330 per credit hour, and this is for the Coursera program only. Other online programs at UNT is actually more expensive, and so this is a good deal that we have with Coursera. And again, this is for people who want to be 100% online. These courses are 8-week courses. So, you know, right now for the fall, the courses run from the very end of August to about the middle of October, the first 8-week one session. And then that will end. There will be a week break. And then the next set of 8-week 2 courses start in October and will run through December. So that's the way those are split. And the same thing for the spring, you'll have January to March and then March to May. Per each 8-week session, you can take 2 classes per each 8-week. That is the maximum. And then, like I mentioned on the last slide, you have concentration options. So if you need to fill in any concentrations, these are your choices. We have administration, which is made up of a lot of business management classes. We have data analytics, which is actually a new introduction for this spring, all data analytics classes. And by doing data analytics, we actually are offering 5 classes for data analytics. I know the concentrations are 4 classes, but if you do take the 5th class, then you can get an undergraduate certificate in data analytics as well as the concentration. Then we have organizational supervision, which is also made up of some business management classes, some organizational management classes, public administration class, social welfare and community, hospitality, and media innovation are also all options. Those concentrations, the classes, will start to be offered in fall of 2021, but you can still choose those concentrations now if that's what you want to pursue. Then we have consumer behavior, which is made up of hospitality management type classes. And we also offer an information technology concentration, which is actually via Coursera. It's the Google IT certificate on Coursera. So you will actually take all those classes via Coursera, and then we get those converted to academic credit that you can actually use for concentration in information technology. So you would get the Coursera certificate for that, and then the concentration, the UNT concentration for that as well. So why consider this degree, this BAAS degree? As Sam mentioned, it is a completion degree. So there are so many people out there that have started college but never finished due to, you know, life happening, job happening, different things. And this degree is really intended for people who haven't finished but have the credit and are ready to finish. It's also intended for non-traditional learners. So we have people in this degree program in their 20s all the way up through their 70s. So really, it's no better time to get your degree. And these learners tend to work full-time, have families, have full-time job. You know, I already said that, work full-time. Just very busy people. And this degree, we understand that, our advisor understands that. We are working with you to complete this degree. And then a lot of people will pursue this because they want a promotion. And in order to get that promotion, you might have the years of experience already. You might, you know, be the best at what you do, but the only thing holding you back is that HR says you need a bachelor's degree. And unfortunately, that does happen to a lot of people. And so to get that bachelor's degree, this is a great option for you. Also, if you are wanting to switch career paths, then you can take classes in the new career path, but also still use credit in what you had previously studied for your past career. And then this is also a good segue into graduate school. So a lot of times I tell students, you know, it's better to do this degree and then move on to a graduate degree that might be a little more specific for you, because we accept a lot of credits. And instead of starting over in a bachelor's degree that won't accept all your credits, honestly, for a lot of people, it takes the same amount of time to do this degree and then go on and get a 2-year master's that it would take for them to finish a bachelor's degree in a very specific field. So graduate school is also a big pull for doing this degree. And then really, honestly, pride of completion. So we do have some people who, you know, you're set in your career, you're set in your life, what you want to do, but you have always wanted to finish that bachelor's degree. And this gives you a great opportunity to do that. All right, so now at this point, we are going to take some questions. If you do have a question, please put it in the Q&A box and we will be answering those live for you. Anything that comes up, just ask us. We will be having more webinars, and this one was just an overview of the program. We will have the next one, which is actually advising, which gets a little bit more into the details of the degree, and Brett will be doing that one and explaining all of that. Then we will also have one that combines admissions and financial aid together. So we will explain all of that, and if you're eligible, that sort of thing. So definitely look for those as well, but we will take your questions, and then I'm also going to leave up this screen right here, because if you are interested in the degree and you want to get at least an idea of where you stand by how many credit hours you already have, that's the great thing about this program, is you don't have to apply right away. You can get an unofficial degree planning sheet from us, which gives you an idea of how many credits you would bring into UNT before you actually make the decision to apply and spend that money. So if you are interested in getting an unofficial degree plan, that email right there, the UNT-BAAS@coursera.org, you will email them, and our Coursera enrollment coach will help you get your transcripts in for us to look at, and then we'll get you a planning sheet and you can make your decision from there. All right, so now some time for question and answer.
Awesome. So we've had several questions come in about specific types of credit. So technical school credit, vet tech credit, and paralegal credit. Can you share, do we accept those 3 types of credit?
Yes, 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 and yes. We do accept all of that. So the technical credit, it can be called different things, you know, at different schools. So some schools will call it workforce credit. Others will call it technical credit. Again, we will take a look at all of the credit that you have earned, and we can get you that degree plan and, you know, tell you, yeah, we will accept it, or no, we won't. But I can tell you paralegal, we do accept, the vet tech, we accept. So really any of those type, we do tend to accept. So that is a really, really good news.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you do a double concentration?
Brett, do you want to take that one?
Well, so I did see that question, and I will try and answer it. And to the individual who wrote it, if I do not answer correctly, let us know, because we might need some context. So a double concentration, my first thought is we're only, for this track, we are only offering 12-hour concentrations. So if you're wondering, a double concentration meaning, you know, can I do, you know, we have a concentration in administration. It's a management-based concentration. You know, if the question is, hey, can I, you know, push that to like 24 hours instead of 12 hours? Unfortunately, no, at this time you cannot. We have specific classes for specific concentrations. However, in that same vein, we do have some concentrations that are kind of similar to each other. So for example, I'll use the example of, we have administration, which is a management-based concentration. The classes you're taking are primarily management courses. We also have an organizational and supervision concentration, which is actually another management-centric concentration. It's different classes, but the themes are similar. In that case, you can actually do both of those concentrations. You can't merge them into one gigantic one. That would be cool, but not right now. You can't merge them, but you can do similar concentrations, but they will still be separate. That's the only example of that I can think of. So I hope that answers your question. If it didn't, let us know, and we can, you know, go into that a little bit more.
Awesome, thanks, Brett. I did just want to jump real quick and clarify one thing. All of the classes that you'll take on Coursera are UNT classes. We have a team of instructional design consultants that are working with UNT faculty to build UNT courses on the Coursera platform. So Coursera does not actually do anything with the academics at all. It is only UNT academics. So your diploma when you graduate will say UNT. It will not say anything about Coursera. It will not say anything about online. So this is a legit program. You are taking UNT classes from a tier 1 university, and you will be graduating with a UNT degree called the Bachelor of Applied Arts and Sciences. So I just want to make sure that that is clear, because that's an important question. You know, not all programs are created equal, but this one is from a high quality university, and we are simply using Coursera as our platform of delivery. So another one, I'm a science student. Will this program be beneficial for students with a science background?
I'll take that. So So yes and no. So yes, from the fact that we will review all of your credit and we'll take as much of it as we can. However, for the time being, if you're wanting to have like a concentration that's science-based, unfortunately for at least for the foreseeable future, we will not have any 12-hour concentrations that are in a specific science area like biology, chemistry, the like. So again, yes, as in if you're wanting to complete your degree and you want to utilize those science classes you've already taken, totally can do it. But if you're wanting to take more science classes, this track for the BAAS degree would probably not be the best option because, and they can, Sam or Stephanie can correct me on this, but I think probably the only science classes we'll be offering in the future will probably be ones that will be used to meet the state of Texas science core. So a very small amount.
Yes, for sure. Our data analytics concentration is out of the College of Science. So I don't know if that is a type of science you're interested in, data science, but that would fit there. We had another question about part-time versus full-time. So because these are 8-week terms and there are 2 8-week terms per semester, your status as part-time or full-time is determined by semester. So if you take 2 courses each 8-week term, you are full-time. If you take 1 course each 8-week term, you are part-time. So hopefully that cleared up that question. We've also seen a lot of questions about financial aid. Yes, you are eligible for financial aid. All you have to do, well, let me add a caveat there. You are eligible for financial aid if you are a US-based student, if you are an American citizen. That is because financial aid comes from the federal government. So if you fill out the FAFSA, which is the application for federal aid, the federal government will then determine how much aid you get. Additionally, my department, Digital Strategy and Innovation, has a grant that we offer to BAAS students. It is called the DSI Opportunity Grant. And we offer that this semester. We were able to offer that to 3 different students who now have their tuition covered by that grant. And we use the FAFSA information to offer that grant. So even if you are out of federal aid, like if you have exhausted all of the federal aid that you are allowed to have as a student in the United States, still fill out that FAFSA because we're using that to give the grant. And one of the things we're looking for is if you've exhausted that aid, because we don't want you to be counted out because you've exhausted that aid. So fill out that FAFSA. I cannot say it enough. Fill it out. Whether you have aid or not, fill it out because that's what we'll use for those grants. And you never know what you might get from filling out that FAFSA. So that is the financial aid that is open. At this time, there is very little aid open to international students. That is something that we are working on. If you, in a few weeks, we will be having a webinar just like this to talk about financial aid. Come to that. We will be talking a little bit about what is available to international students, but again, at this time, it is not very much, but we're working on it. How do we find out about upcoming webinars? Stephanie, I'm going to let you take that one.
Yes, so like you heard about this webinar, Coursera is actually posting the upcoming webinars on the UNT BAAS Coursera website. So I believe they actually already have the next webinar up on there, so you can register for that. But you will just take a look at the website and they will continuously have those webinars up. The next one is September 29th, right there at 11:30. And that one is our advising one. So also, if you come to these webinars, you will always know when the next webinar is. And again, the same way you registered for this one, you will register for the next one.
Awesome. Does any type of work experience count toward the degree?
So it is possible that work experience could count toward a degree. The University of North Texas works with a third-party organization known as the American Council on Education, or ACE for short, to review work experience. So for example, if you apply to UNT and you want to see if some of your experience can count for credit, we will put you in touch directly with ACE. What they'll do is they'll tell you the documentation they need to review to make a decision on whether your work experience would count for credit. Once you submit it, if they accept it, they will generate a transcript and it can be sent to the University of North Texas for credit. All of that credit would count as lower level credit, but we could really inject that into the major part of your degree plan to really help you hopefully knock out some more coursework and really minimize the time to getting that degree. So yes, it is possible. It's not guaranteed that your work experience will count, but it's definitely something possible, and we will work with you to find out whether or not we can use it.
Awesome. So this is a several part question here, but does the double concentration count as a double major?
No. So with the Bachelor's of Applied Arts and Sciences, your major is Applied Arts and Sciences. So when you get your diploma, and I know this, I think Sam mentioned this earlier, but you'll get your diploma. It will not say online or Coursera on there. It'll be University of North Texas. You're our alumni, or no one else's alumni. And your diploma will literally say Bachelor of Applied Arts and Sciences, and the major will be Applied Arts and Sciences. Your concentrations, while they make up your major, they will not show up on your diploma or your transcript. However, and I can say this from an advising standpoint, and I know Stephanie can as well from her past experience, when you're advised by us, those concentrations are important because really that's what you're spending your time studying. So those concentrations are what you will put on your resume when you look to market this degree, if you start looking for a new job or something like that. So for example, I use the administration concentration. Let's say you're in your current business and you're trying to move up into a management position. You would put that administration concentration on your resume because that proves that you have coursework in that field. Same thing with data analytics if you're trying to get a data analytics job. However, to go a little bit more into this question, another question is asked, can you take classes both on the Coursera platform and at the University of North Texas, as in on the regular UNT online platform? The answer is no. Once you come into the Coursera degree, everything you do will be on the Coursera platform. So unfortunately at this time, we don't have any minors you can pick up or anything like that. We have very specific concentrations and classes you can take for this degree. And there's many reasons for that. Primarily, number one is you're operating out of an alternative platform, but also the pricing for the classes is different. And especially if you're an out-of-state student, by and large, for the vast majority, students will be charged on the Coursera track $330 per credit hour. Whether you live in, I know we have some questions specifically about, out of the country, individuals from Nigeria. I think we have an individual from China. We're happy that y'all are here. So whether you are in Nigeria or China, or you literally live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you're charged $330 per credit hour. However, if you were to take a class outside of the Coursera track, you would then be charged either the out-of-state tuition rate or the in-state tuition rate. And so basically that's one of the big reasons why if you do Coursera, you're only taking Coursera classes, because it'll totally mess up your tuition, and nobody wants to have to deal with that. So I hope that answers your question. Again, I think this question came from Lindsay. If there's something we missed, just respond and let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. And the goal of this program is to make sure that you earn your degree as efficiently as possible. And so, if you're looking to do a double major or, to get some minors, then, you know, maybe we should talk about a different program at UNT or something like that. But we, you know, we're happy to talk to you and figure out the best plan for you. So definitely reach out, and we're happy to help you figure out what your path should be here. How does it work with UNT, Coursera, and my employer? So, okay, I'm not quite sure about this question, but let me answer what I think you're asking. And if I'm wrong, let me know. This is from Daryl. So I've worked with a lot of companies. I actually run our enterprise department in digital strategy and innovation. So I've worked with a lot of companies who have really excellent tuition benefits. So Daryl, maybe your company has a tuition benefit program where they will pay for your education, or sometimes they pay it directly and sometimes they reimburse. If that's the situation, we can help you figure out what that looks like for your company, how you do that. But generally, you would work through that third-party tuition reimbursement. If you have further questions on that, definitely let us know. We're happy to help on that as well. So there's a question, can we explain here what we mean when we say per credit hour? That's kind of, that's higher ed language. Maybe we need to be more specific about what that means.
I can take that one. So each of these classes that we offer are 3 credit hours. So that basically means it's a conversion between the amount of time you spend actually doing the class, the amount of time you spend in the class, and then they put that all together and figure out how many credit hours the class is worth. So all of our classes on this platform are 3 credit hours. So if you are figuring out the cost of the classes, you just take 3 times the $330, and that is going to be the amount that you can bet on for one class. We also do, so you do have a few additional costs. The first one is applying. So when you actually apply to the university, it is, you have an application fee, and it's $75 for domestic students and $85 for international. And then you will have to do an orientation to get you acquainted with UNT and the Coursera platform. That will have to be done before you start taking classes. And that is $45 flat for everyone. And then books are not included in that cost. So if you do need to buy a book, then that will be added in there. Some of the professors are using the online versions of books, and so that's helpful for everyone. And then sometimes you don't need a book, so it all depends each class to class. And then I also want to mention, I see this come up quite a bit. So right now the fall semester has already started and is carrying through until December. So this program, if you are going to apply, it will be for spring of 2021. And the first day of class is January 11th. So just know that, keep it on your calendars. So you have a little bit of time to get everything in. But we can actually start registering you for your classes about mid-November. So just know that, because you can, if you get all of your information, your transcripts, everything in by mid-November, you can already be enrolled and be set for January. So obviously the sooner the better. And I should mention, these classes are not going to fill because, well, they can fill depending upon how many students we have, but They are only for Coursera students. So do not worry if things are getting a little bit close to, January, because we still have a seat for you in the class.
For sure, yeah. One of the questions was about whether these courses are pre-recorded. So the answer to that is yes, they are. There will be, most faculty will do some synchronous sessions. So on Zoom, they'll have office hours, or they may do I know our management professor this semester is doing some like getting to know you sessions where he's just kind of getting on Zoom and inviting the class, and they're, talking about current events, or they're talking about assignments from the week, or, it's just kind of a time to kind of build that camaraderie among classmates. And those sessions that are synchronous are not required sessions. So, if he offers it at 7 o'clock in the evening and you work at 7 o'clock in the evening, obviously you will not be penalized for that. So the bulk of the information, all the information that you are graded on, all the information that you are assessed on is all asynchronous, so that you can access that whenever you want from wherever you want. Because if you've used Coursera before, you know that they have a great app that you can access from your mobile device. They also have it so that you can download lessons and do it offline. If you don't want to use your data when you're on the train or waiting in an airport or whatever it may be, you can do that asynchronously. I did also want to give a quick plug here for our newly released MOOC on Coursera. So we do have the degree program, right? Which is what you're all here to find out about today, is the degree program. And from those degree courses, we are making shorter versions that can be done at any time asynchronously on Coursera. So these are the courses that you can sign up for like $49.99, or sometimes, I know for some people right now they're free. But we have created one from the course BAAS 3020, which is the first course in the Bachelor of Applied Arts and Sciences degree. It is called Research Design, Inquiry and Discovery. It is on Coursera. You can search for it in the search bar. And if you go ahead and take that MOOC, all the quizzes that you take as you take that MOOC will stack into your degree course. So some of the content from that course will be in the degree course. So maybe you're like, I'm considering this program, but I don't really know what I'm getting into. This is a great way to try it out. Take this research and design MOOC and see what it's about. Do you like it? Are you enjoying it? Are you able to fit it into your schedule? Then you can meet with Brett and get your unofficial degree plan, and you'll really have a good sense of what you're getting into before you even apply for the program. It's that try before you buy model. We want to make sure that you are confident in your ability to complete this program, and this is a good way to do it. So again, that is called Research Design, Inquiry and Discovery. It is an open course on Coursera. You are able to search that in the search bar on Coursera and register to take that course at any time. And then that will stack into your degree course once you start your program.
Hey Sam, could I jump in?
Yeah,
Piggyback off that
absolutely.
really quick? So I'll go ahead and give you all a little unofficial advising, since I'm the advisor right here. If I was in your shoes, I would reach out to the enrollment counselor, the Coursera enrollment coach, to get that unofficial degree plan, and go ahead and take that MOOC for BAAS 3020 Discovery and Inquiry, because that gives you a lot of information before you spend a nickel or any money on this program. And honestly, that's putting you at more of an advantage than at an advantage that most students don't have before they start the program. So I would definitely, like Sam said, do both of those. All you're dealing with is time, because you'll know pretty well how much, you'll know what you have left, and then you'll know what the expectation is when you start that class. in the program.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks, Brett.
Sam, can you repeat the name of the MOOC?
Yep. It is Research Design, Inquiry, and Discovery. So another question I see here is, what's the advantage of taking courses on Coursera versus just regular online classes at a brick and mortar, especially if you live close to UNT? So maybe the biggest pro for Coursera is the cost. We have, we've negotiated the cost of this program so that you are paying significantly less than any other program at UNT. We have eliminated a lot of the fees that you would pay at UNT. So it is just that flat $330 a credit hour. If you were to take another program at UNT, you would be paying at least $100 more than that. So, you know, if maybe cost isn't, you know, a big thing for you, maybe, you know, being able to take classes in person is, you know, I think to some extent you have to kind of figure out for yourself what's most important. But yeah, for us here, the main difference is the cost. So keep that in mind for sure. So what is the maximum number of credit hours someone can transfer in?
Yeah, so the max number of hours that a new student can transfer in is 90 hours. So this degree, kind of regurgitating a little bit what Stephanie said, it's 120 credit hours, and you can transfer up to 90 into this program. The University of North Texas requires students doing their bachelor's degree at UNT to complete a minimum of 90 hours at the University of North Texas, so i.e. UNT classes. Out of that 30 hours that they complete at UNT, 24 of those 30 hours have to be junior, senior level classes. So again, you have 120 hours to complete the degree. 36 of those 120 hours have to be upper level, junior, senior level classes. And students can transfer in up to 90 hours, and that would leave them a minimum of 30 hours to do at UNT overall, and then 24 of those 30 would be upper level classes. Now, with that in mind, if you only attended a community college, so you never went to a four-year university, if you only attended a community college, in reality, the maximum hours you could transfer in would be 84, because at community colleges in the United States, they do not offer upper level classes. They only offer freshman, sophomore level, lower level classes. So you would have 36 hours, but technically it's 30 hours.
Awesome. So one of the things I want to clear up a little bit here is the cost of the program. There's some questions about like, what's the final cost of the program going to be? And with a lot of programs, you can get to that number pretty easily. They can tell you exactly how much the program is going to cost. For this program, because you're all coming in with varying numbers of credit hours, we can't really tell you that. But what I can suggest is that you work with Brett and your unofficial transcripts to get an unofficial degree plan. And once you do that, you can multiply the number of credit hours that you are still needing by $330 and get a rough estimate of what it's going to cost for you. Now, I say rough estimate because that degree plan, because we're using your unofficial transcripts, it is unofficial as well. So once your official transcripts come in, it could change based on what shows on your official transcripts. Brett, am I communicating that well?
Yes, and I did pull out my handy dandy online calculator. Like was mentioned, you can transfer in, you have to transfer in a minimum of 45 hours. So I went ahead and that would leave you at most 75 hours left. So I took 75 hours and multiplied it times $330. Sorry, times $330, yes. And I came out to $24,750. So the max you could pay tuition-wise would be under $25,000. Now, preface it, that does not include textbooks, I believe. Is that right, Sam? Textbooks are a separate thing, and you get that when you get your syllabus for each class.
Right, yeah. So textbooks, some faculty members will require exams to be proctored, and that's about $20 an exam. Any other study materials that you need, but you know, we are in general trying to use more open content and more original content so that you're not having to pay a lot of money out of pocket for books and things like that. And those will be, you will know those numbers ahead of time because those will be in each of the syllabi from the faculty. So next step. So we have some students that are like, this is the program for me. Stephanie, can you walk them through what's next?
Yeah, definitely. So, so what we suggest is that if you want to get an idea of how many of your credit hours we can accept, we can do an unofficial degree planning sheet based off of your unofficial transcripts. So in order to get that, you will want to send an email to unt-baas@coursera.org. You will send them your unofficial transcripts. So unofficial basically means if you have your transcript, you can take a picture of it and send it in to us. It doesn't need to be in an envelope, nothing like that. You're just going to upload it. All it needs to say is the university name. It needs to show the names of the classes, the number of credit hours your university gives for those classes, the grade you earned for those classes, and then we can take it from there and figure out what we can accept at UNT. So you will send that to the enrollment coach via that email. They will give us your transcripts. Brett and I will take a look at the transcripts, put it all together in an unofficial degree plan. And when I say unofficial degree plan, if you remember back when I was talking and you saw that full laid out graphic with the core on one side and the degree requirements on the other, that is our planning sheet. So we will fill that out, put X's where you've completed everything, highlight what you haven't. So it'll give you an idea. We will get that back to you at that point in time. If you want to apply and you feel good about it, the Coursera enrollment coach will give you that information on how to apply. For those who are like, I don't need a planning sheet, I know I want to apply, you will go to applytexas.org and you will select the University of North Texas Denton. Do not select Dallas. It's a completely different school. You want to pick University of North Texas Denton, and then you will select the BAAS fully online degree. Once you are fully admitted to UNT and you have all of your transcripts in, then Brett will contact you with more information on what concentrations you want to do and how many classes you want to take for the spring. And then he will enroll you and will get you in an orientation. So those are all the steps to get you to actually being in your class and starting it again January 11th. If you have any questions at any point in time, just send us an email, reach out to us. We are here to help you. We want you to succeed. We honestly want to make this process as smooth and as easy as possible because we know higher ed isn't always that way. And a lot of you probably have already had issues with different schools you've attended. And so we are trying to cut out those barriers. We are working really hard to make this very smooth. So again, just please reach out to us, any questions that you have.
Yes, absolutely. So saw a question about UNT sports. Yeah, we have basketball, we have football season started. We had our first game last week and we won. So that's great news. This is like the hand sign that we use for the golden green. We're the Eagles. So yeah, definitely follow UNT Sports on whatever app you use to follow sports.
Also, to throw in there, you can actually watch the football games live and stream them. And you can also, there's a lot of other different events, like Sam mentioned, the jazz is a big thing. Every day at 1 p.m. Central, they have, I think it's 1 p.m., but they have the, lounge, and they come out and play music, and you can watch concerts online, anything like that. So we want you to feel part of this community, and those links are all available to you guys.
And
Yes.
there was a question early on, even if you're international, can you still come graduate in Denton? Yes. I don't care. I mean, whether you live in Denton or you live in, Beijing, I'm just trying to think of someplace very far away. We would love it if you would come here. I mean, honestly, you put in all the work. Obviously, for some of us, it could be years worth of work if you think about all of your transfer credits. So you definitely want to come to graduation. It's a really fun time for you, family, friends, loved ones. With the sports thing, I will say I'm a UNT alumni twice over. I got 2 degrees. I've actually gotten an online degree from UNT, so I'll kind of know a little bit of what y'all are going through. UNT is a Division I in sports, which means, for context, that means like we play like the University of Texas, Alabama's of the world, like those really big schools. So, even if you're a distance learner, if you ever want to, definitely come to a game or something like that. I mean, they're really inexpensive, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just add my little caveat. We as a team cannot wait to cheer on our graduates as you walk across the stage, either in person or virtually. I know attending in person is not going to be feasible for everyone, but we are working on some really cool virtual options as well, so that you are included in that ceremony, because you've earned it. And so we want to be able to celebrate with you and celebrate big. So we're excited. So I saw a question here, like, where do I go or who do I email if I need help with the application? So first off, let me just tell you, the Apply Texas application, we know, is difficult. It's frustrating. It can be confusing at times. Reach out for help. We want you to make sure that you are applying to the right place and the right program. Ask your questions for real. So you can reach out to that, the email address there on the screen, UNT-BAAS@coursera.org, for help in any step of the process. But that team will be there to help you, especially with the application. So we are coming down to the end of our time here, but we are so glad that you are with us today. If you have questions that either didn't get answered live or that you think about as you move through your day today, and then wish that you had asked during this time, definitely reach out via email. We are happy to answer all of your questions. If you have any interest at all in moving forward, I highly recommend that you reach out and get your unofficial degree plan, just so that you have an idea of what it would look like for you to finish your degree. But with that, I think we're going to end this webinar for today. So thank you for attending, Brett, Stephanie. Thank you for presenting. Hopefully we'll see you on September 29th to learn more about advising. And I'll end it, since we were talking football, I'll end it with a Go Mean Green.
Bye.
Bye, Go Mean Green.